In the early summer of 2025, we packed our bags, took a flight to Paris, officially kickstarted our Europe trip.
Madame, Monsieur, bonjour et bienvenue à bord.
We have quite a few good surprises during our trip. The first one is that we found Air France safety video is not only entertaining, but an excellent review of top attractions of Paris.
Chaque fois que ce signal est allumé, nous vous prions d'attacher votre ceinture.
So fasten your seatbelt. This video is not just a list of top attractions, but how we explored the city in our own ways.
Nous vous recommandons de la maintenir attachée de façon visible lorsque vous êtes assis à votre siège. Pendant le roulage, le décollage et l'atterrissage, veuillez redresser votre siège. Les issues de secours sont situées de chaque côté de la cabine, à l'avant, au centre, à l'arrière. Nous vous invitons à consulter la notice de sécurité placée devant vous. Au nom d'Air France, tout l'équipage vous souhaite un excellent vol.
11 hours later, we arrived in Paris. I'm sure there are millions of videos on the internet about the top attractions, must-visits. It's Paris after all, one of the most visited cities in the world. With regard to where we stayed in Paris, we'd like to stay close to the action.
Hello, Paris.
We stayed at Intercontinental Le Grand, part of Old Paris, for the first few nights. Le Grand is just across street to Opera Garnier, in walking distance to Louvre. Historical Café de la Paix is downstairs. While one of the oldest brasseries in Paris, older than Eiffel Tower, Le Grand Café Capuchin has been around the corner for 150 years, with many theaters, bars, and restaurants. 3 days later, we moved across the Seine River to the left bank, stayed in Hotel Pullman, which is a block away from Eiffel Tower. This area doesn't have the old Paris charm, but it served us perfectly when we walked to the Palais du Trocadero to watch Eiffel Tower in sunrise, before the sun even rose above the horizon. Honestly, there are hundreds of different ways to enjoy the City of Light. Everyone explores this city differently. How did we spend our 7 days in Paris? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We climbed a lot of indoor stairs and a lot of outdoor stairs too. We went to Michelin restaurant serving classic French cuisine, aka old recipe, in iconic Hotel Plaza Athenee. We had the best burgers we ever ate in Europe on the curbside when we were craving burgers. All kinds of delicious food, sometimes too much. We did a lot of wandering around, let the city come to us. A little bit of shopping didn't hurt. We were pretty relaxed and took it easy on ourselves. It seems slow down is also the Parisian way in the long summer day. This video is about how we see Paris through our own eyes. Here is the top 10 things we did in Paris, part 1. Eiffel Tower and the Pont de Bir-Hakeim in the sunrise. No crowd, pure magic. If you are a fan of Christopher Nolan's movie Inception, Pont de Bir-Hakeim is a must visit. It's across the Seine River with a spectacular view of Eiffel Tower and the rising sun in the east. We we stayed at a nearby Hotel Pullman for a few nights with the Eiffel Tower right in front of our balcony. With this obvious perk, we wake up early. In the morning of June, it was still chilly in the early morning, but the serenity is priceless. On the right bank of the Seine River, Palais du Trocadero definitely has the best view of Eiffel Tower. Opera Garnier and Ballet Night. During our 7-day stay in Paris, we watched 2 ballets in Opera Garnier, the birthplace of the Phantom of the Opera. It was built for Paris Opera in 1875. Due to its extraordinary lavishness, it was also known as the Palais Garnier. The Opera House is Napoleon III style, which is highly eclectic and blends styles of Baroque, Palladio, as well as Renaissance architectures. The interior left no space without decoration. Opera Garnier had a special bond with the opera's most iconic legend, Maria Callas. Nowadays is a home of Paris Opera Ballet. The first ballet we watched was classic ballet Sylvia. Sylvia was the first ballet ever performed at Opera Garnier in 1876. A few days later, we watched a dazzling high-energy contemporary piece called Red Carpet, choreographed by Hafiz Schechter. Louvre Museum. Louvre Museum certainly needs no introduction. We booked 9 a.m. tickets and arrived really early. It's pretty nice to walk around the pyramid without a huge crowd, normally during the day. Unfortunately, Katie felt a little under weather, so we had to go back to the hotel to pick up her jacket. It's about half an hour round trip. When we came back just before its opening time at 9 a.m., the place was packed. Lucky for us, while waiting at the very end of the line, a museum employee suddenly came up and told us and others around that we can enter through another entrance on a different wing. Voila! Here we go! Definitely my favorite, the Winged Victory of some Streets, a Hellenistic marble sculpture of goddess Nike from ancient Greece around 2nd century BC. The largest and the most visited museum in the world, in over 400 rooms, Louvre contains approximately 500,000 objects and displays 35,000 artworks. It's impossible to explore it in one day. Jean Imbert at Plaza Athenee. Jean Imbert is a Michelin restaurant inside the iconic Paris Hotel Plaza Athenee on Avenue Montaigne. Everything about Plaza Athenee is exceptional and elegant. The moment we walked into the door, The friendly staff with a big smile made us very comfortable. We were seated at the majestic marble table, King's table. Some people may prefer tables on the side which is more private. We usually do, but I love this table. We have been to our fair share of Michelin restaurants. I would say this is definitely the most classically elegant restaurant we've ever been to. The food is a classic French cuisine that can be traced back to the origin of the French gastronomy, some with recipes of more than 100 years old. It's an absolutely unforgettable experience. The service was phenomenal, making the food taste even more delicious. The lamb dish has meats from 5 or 6 different parts of lamb. We were guessing which part they were from. Before I move on to the next topic, I have to say it's hard to pick the wrong restaurant in Paris. There are so many good choices just around the corner. I want to briefly mention 2 low-key restaurants out of many cafes and restaurants we went to. A small restaurant named Le Bouchon Parisian next to Hotel Pullman. Great food, great atmosphere, fantastic service. Another small restaurant called Wukushi on a street named Babylon. It serves the best burgers. The service was exceptional. Let me rephrase it. The service was the best. We don't speak any French, she doesn't speak any English, but we understand each other perfectly. Such a wonderful experience.
Yummy, yummy. Thank you.
Fete de la Musique, our music festival in Paris on June 21st. In the evening of the summer solstice day, as known as the longest day of the year, with the shortest night, music was played outside, in the neighborhood, along the Seine, in the parks, everywhere in the city. When the sun went down, Eiffel Tower sparkled for much longer than normal 5 minutes. People were gathering together on the Palais du Trocadero. Live music was everywhere. Everyone was in a celebratory mood. It's a night to be remembered. When the clock struck midnight and the tower sparkled, it was simply mesmerizing. This concludes our part 1 video. Stay tuned. See you in the part 2.